I'm Andy Mon, one of the pastors here at the Valley Church. I just want to take a few minutes and share with you our next steps as a church. So whether you're here with us today, whether you're sitting at home or in the car, wherever you might find yourself, I want you to know that the Valley is on the move. In fact, about 6 or 7 years ago, really felt that God was telling us to go somewhere and to do something. And then it became very clear after a trip to Honduras, as we were building a training center there and helping build churches for pastors who were being trained and leaders who were being developed through this training center. As we did that, we said, well, why aren't we doing that back right where we're at? And so we came back, and God birthed the idea, the vision, to have an expression of the Valley Church in every area, every town in our area. And so we began to do that. We brought on a campus pastor, Mark and Jessica Calder, campus pastors. They came here, helped us to bring people to the Lord, and you guys got to know them. They built teams. They started an on-site video venue, a worship service in the gym that ran simultaneously here, and we launched a team of about 100 people, and their first service, they had about 250 people. That was just a few years ago. In parallel with that, we did something called On the Move. And On the Move was a resource initiative to help us take our next steps as a church. And you committed $1 million in over a 3-year period to help us take those next steps. And $250,000 of that was for parking here at the Piqua campus. We were just plain out of space. There were 40 cars parked on the street. We just couldn't get them all in. We also were short space in our children's area, and so we said, well, we're gonna add more space for kids, teens, and an East venue here with $500,000 plus some borrowing power. And then $250,000 went to launch that new Troy campus. And I want you to know this 3-year period was just over December 31st, and $940,000 has been given sacrificially by all of you. I'll just tell you, in the midst of coronavirus, that's just miraculous. It's just amazing. And along the way, God has just continued to bless the Valley. We were actually able to pay off the debt for this space that we're sitting in right now, or you're viewing online. It was a loan of about $900,000. That has been paid off just last week. And what that's going to do, yes, that's great news. And we aren't afraid of debt, reasonable debt, and we would take that step again. But what it does allow us to do is to take those resources and bring on a new campus pastor. And that's what I want to share with you. And here you can get some ideas. This would not have happened without these steps that you took. This is the Troy venue, the Troy campus. This is their new space, the atrium. Here's one of their worship services. These are people that would not, I'll just tell you, many would not be following the Lord without that new campus. Here's some kids that are being part of that, and here we are in the worship space right here. And what's been amazing, the last few weeks, we've had about 1,000 people attending the Valley, whether it's online or on campus, whether it's Piqua or whether it's Troy. God has just continued to bless us. He's blessed us financially. And you know what? It's been very clear to me, just in these last few weeks, God is saying, go somewhere and do something. Go launch another campus. And so I want you to know that that's our next step as a church. We want to reach more young families for Jesus Christ. And so we're actually going to be relaunching. By the way, the Troy campus also did a resource initiative. They committed $250,000 in new work. And so far they've brought in $157,000 to help them relaunch into that space you just saw. But I want you to know that as your pastor, I really feel led that we are to now launch another campus. And so we are actively looking for a new campus pastor to help launch a campus in the Sydney area. And I want you to pray along with me about what that's going to mean. Wisdom to take steps in the way that we ought to. Wisdom to know who the right campus pastor is. The timing. But also, I would love for you to pray about whether you're to be a part of that. You see, it's going to take 100 people to launch that campus, to do it in a way that we know that we can reach people pretty quickly. And I believe God's going to call some of you, whether you're here at home. If God is calling you, would you let us know? Would you begin to pray about being part of that team? We believe that God wants to expand what He's doing here around in our whole area. And we're not just to sit here and be happy with what God's doing here. We're to take what God's given us and bless others and share it with others. And so that's what we're going to do. So that's our next steps as a church. Also,